reason I included that music was it tells the same story as the Ramayana. So this epic from thousands of years ago has this story, and this old jazz from the United States, probably by people who had never encountered the Ramayana, was telling the same story. Things that are alive, they move through time, right? They move through us. You know, all the genes in history or whatever, the whole history of life moves through us and then into the future. And same with culture. So our entire cultural history, bits of it, you know, we inherit them. In artists, they recombine. And then, if they are to be alive, they go out into the world. It's not a dead end here. They keep moving. They're just moving through us. They're bigger than us. They are not property. Property is dead. Things that you own are dead. And I'm totally cool with like owning this stuff, you know, owning this podium or owning this keychain or something like that. These things are dead. But things that are alive, when you own them, they can't move forward. Their life cannot continue. So Sita Sings the Blues is not intellectual property. Unfortunately, those Annette Hanshaw songs that were made in the 1920s, those are property, or at least they're locked up by copyright. They were supposed to be at the very latest in the public domain by the 1980s, but Congress has been retroactively extending copyright repeatedly so that nothing from that era is entering the public domain. It's not legal to share for free, by the way. A lot of people think that I freed the film because I couldn't get licenses. I actually did get licenses. I ended up paying $50,000 plus the step deal, which means you have to pay about $2 a disc for each additional disc sold. But I did legally clear it and decriminalize the film. If I hadn't done that, it would be illegal to share for free. So as far as I understand, the difference between non-commercial copyright infringement and commercial copyright infringement is that non-commercial copyright infringement, you can face up to 5 years in jail, and commercial, you face up to 10 years in jail. That's the difference. But yes, I had to pay through the nose. Also about $20,000 in bargain basement legal fees for this, including lots of lawyers who are working pro bono, but it still came out to about $20,000 in transaction costs to pay $50,000 for work that was supposed to be in the public domain in the 80s. The license I used on Sita Sings the Blues is a share-alike license. It is Creative Commons share-alike. And I'll just mention right now that a little peeve of mine is that people refer to 7 different licenses as just Creative Commons licenses. And these are very different from each other, the licenses that Creative Commons offers. Many of the licenses that they offer are not compatible with each other, and most of them are not free licenses. Most of them are very restrictive. The share-alike license, which is what I use, is the closest cultural equivalent to the free software license, to the GNU public license. And it permits and encourages any use, anything you want to do with the work you can do. There's only one restriction, which is you cannot prevent others from doing the same. I do not host. I do not pay 1 penny for hosting the video files. It's posted on archive.org, it's on YouTube, people are BitTorrenting it back and forth, but I don't have to actually control it, and that means I don't have to pay anything for hosting it. The decentralized distribution means that everybody who's sharing it is bearing that cost. So all that promotion, I don't get any money directly from that, but that sort of sets the stage for how I do get money. This is the Sita Sings the Blues merchandise empire. And this is where we use the unlimited resource to sell the limited resources. So we have DVDs and CDs and little pins and t-shirts and tchotchkes and things like that. Rivalrous goods. We sell rivalrous goods. It is true that anybody else could also manufacture and sell these rivalrous goods. Does anybody really have an incentive to? I mean, you can all do this. And when I initially went out and talked about Sita Sings the Blues, filmmakers would be like, what, you mean I could do this? I could just take your film and sell DVDs of it? And I say, yes. Are you going to? I mean, I can tell you what a pain in the ass it is to make DVDs. It's a real pain. There's not much incentive to do it, especially when they're already available. Anyway, this is the standard edition DVD, which is $20. This is the artist edition DVD, which is signed and numbered, and it's a nice package. People are basically paying for the physicality of it because, again, the content is free. And the packaging, and it says pre-downloaded DVD, so you're really paying for the packaging, and we make that very clear. But just as people pay money for limited numbered art prints, basically the packaging of the artist edition is a limited numbered art print. and it's $100. And people say, well, what's the difference between the standard edition and the artist edition? And the difference is $80. So when I negotiate contracts with Sita Sings the Blues, I'm not negotiating the rights. Everybody has the right to distribute Sita Sings the Blues. Everyone has the right to broadcast it. Everyone has the right to sell it, make derivative works, blah, 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 blah. But I don't necessarily endorse all of those distributions. You know, a big motivation, it turns out, for people to buy things associated with the work of art is to have a connection with the artist. They want to know that their money is reaching the artist. There is a sort of profound goodwill that audiences have towards artists that they like. They really want to support artists. That is, in fact, why people justify copyright, is because they believe that's the only way artists can get money. It's not the only way. It's not even a good way. It's actually a good way for big corporations to consolidate their power, but it's really not working out as a way for artists to get money. The creator-endorsed mark works much, much better, and nobody's freedom is infringed. It kind of breaks my heart that software and the rest of culture are so separate from each other, because they're really not that different. They're just culture. The same principles apply to software and the rest of the cultural world. I should mention that all of the source files for Sita Sings the Blues, all the animation files, which unfortunately I did in Flash, but can't change that now, those source files are all on archive.org. So anybody who uses Flash, any animator, you are welcome to download those files, make a graphic novel, make a new movie, make a TV series, make a game, whatever you want. They're all vector files. Oh, and I should add that we would love it if those files could somehow migrate to an open format. So there are open vector animation programs, or just vector still art programs, but Flash is not compatible with them. So man, a migration tool would be really, really good, because I would like these things to be as free as possible. So the grand total I've gotten is $132,000, actually more than that by now. It's probably more like $135,000 for a free film. And most of that is what I call gift income. So donations and store profits. In the store, it's hard to say. I truly believe that people buy merchandise from the store partly because the merchandise is cool, but partly because they want to support me directly. The screening fees were voluntary, and the awards were voluntary. Those were all gifts.
Do you think basically these media, which has conglomerated, need to defragment in order to use something like this?
No, I don't think it's because of size. I think it's because all of the businesses, all the media businesses that exist and have existed for the last couple hundred years have had monopolies. That's been their business model. So they are not able to even conceive of how they would do business without the monopoly, and they are not willingly going to surrender it. In many cases, the monopolies are harming these businesses, but they're still not letting go of it. I free everything. It's like the whole way of doing it is let other people push it and be patient. So it can take a really long time, but I'm not doing the work any favors by locking it up.
What if you ever pirated the music?
You mean what if I'd used the music illegally?
Yes. What kind of problems would
Well, then it would be illegal for anybody to copy the movie.
Yeah,
and that
but
would
people
mean that
would do it anyway. I mean,
some people would do it anyway, but I want lots of people to do it. This is my attempt to show everyone that sharing is wholesome and healthy and good.
Thank you.